It's 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the first Monday of the month, and that means it's time for Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. Thanks for checking in live on Tom Cooney YouTube. You can go straight to my page there, and you'll see the video going live. I've also updated the Facebook and Instagram post with the actual watch link as well. You can get there live with the watch link as well. Really excited tonight, episode 31, to have a Greater Boston singer-songwriter and wonderful guitarist, Kenny Seltzer. Kenny, hello.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
It's good to be here.
thanks for being on. I run into Kenny a lot in the last year or two on different virtual open mics, and just a great songwriter and a good singer and a wonderful guitarist, as you're gonna find out tonight. We're going to talk all about Kenny's music, where you can find his music, what his discography is, any gigs he has, and as you know, the sprinkling in this show is talking about the craft. What does our artist think about the craft? How do they start in music? What are their approaches to songwriting for different songs? And it's an exciting hour. It always is, and we're just really, really happy to have you with us, Kenny.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's great. What were you thinking of opening up with tonight for folks?
Well, I have a wide variety of music, as you know, and I decided to play three different kinds of music. And this one is one I wrote in 2019. It's called Nothing Started, Nothing Gained. It's an up-tempo song. It's kind of like my kind of country rock. I'm not really sure. It's a song about being in a relationship and not really being sure whether you're really in the relationship or not, and both parties think that. You know, so it's a song about confusion, which I never describe it that way, but I think that's what it is. You know, it's kind of like a love song. You know, so you want to hear it now? Okay. It's called Nothing Started, Nothing Gained. Nothing started, nothing gained. I'm out here in the pouring rain. Looking left, I'm looking right. I'm out here in the dead of night. Spend all my time thinking about you. I wonder if what we say is really true. I don't know why I feel this way. I do know that I want to stay. Going up and then I'm down. First I smile, then I frown. Spend all my time worrying about you. I wonder what in the world I'm going to do. Snap your fingers, I'm in a spell. Pick me up from where I fell. Wake and save me from this dream. I'm sure you know just what I mean. Nothing's changed about how I feel. I want to know what is real. Give me back the time I've wasted. It's about time that I face it. I love you. I love you. I should have known what I was doing. I should have seen what was brewing. I would have said a little more. There were things I ignored. I will always feel I was wrong. I will always feel I took too long. Stand up straight, I know I can't think hard and long and make a plan. Another night in an empty house. It is quieter than a mouse, like all the times that went before. Restless, so I pace the floor. I put too much into stop now. I will have to get to you somehow. I love you. I love you. Can't find the words to tell you anything. I want to show you everything. Now I can see just who we are. I love you. Dust has settled what remains. Nothing changes, it's all the same. It's all good, nothing bad. Did not see what I had. Spent all my time thinking about you. I wonder what in the world I'm going to do. Nothing started, nothing gained. I'm out here in the pouring rain. Looking left, I'm looking right. I'm out here in the dead of night. Spend all my time worrying about you. I wonder if what we say is really true. But I love you. I love you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
That's great. You're right. That had a lot of emotions in it.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny about that song. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I performed it. I was out in South Carolina, and I happened to get a gig at this little small festival. I don't know how, a little timing. I had a half-hour set. I played this song, and it was a kind of festival where you bring your own booze in and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So some of the people were already a little tipsy. And there's one woman, every time I stopped, she started clapping. The second time it happened, her friends said, stop, so you can see it's not over, the song is not over yet, but she just thought it was over. So I just, too many stops. So I tried to hold my notes out longer during right at the beginning of the stops to let people know, no, it's not over yet, So, but I remember that. It was kind of funny.
Oh, that's wonderful. It is. You summarized it going into it as you talked about all the emotions of love that are in it, and of course, love can be complex. And then you used the word confusion when you introduced it. Is that kind of one of the takeaways with writing that one?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it's when you kind of don't know what the relationship is, and after a while you define it and you go, oh yeah, we're really together, and it's a relationship. And sometimes you don't get to that point, and you don't really know what it is, and you don't know where it's going to go, if it's going to go there or not. So you're kind of like confused, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I don't know what's going on at all, but it's just slightly like, well, what is this? What is this relationship,
Yeah.
What is this? And I have a chorus, it's a short chorus, it's like, I love you, So it runs kind of the gamut of things, like trying to figure it out, late at night, and you just don't know what's going on,
Yeah, no,
And
that's true. That's true. I was on the National Open Mic America last night, and I played a song of mine called "Is This Love?" And it was about someone who wasn't sure he was falling in love. So the
right,
exact same kind of topic. Finally, the chorus goes, "Is this love? I don't
yeah,
remember."
right, yeah. Yeah, so it's not like it's just wondering and not confusion like total confusion. It's
Yeah.
just not sure what's going on.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's true. Hey, folks, we're with Kenny Seltzer. Let me spell it for you. It's Selcer. Pretty simple, which means that it's kennyseltzer.com, where you're going to be looking him up, as well as looking him up on Reverb Nation and YouTube. Selcer, and Kenny's a greater Boston singer-songwriter and guitarist. And some neat stuff from his website that I want to share with you. The music will impress you, but he's impressed other people as well. A sizzling blend of Americana, folk, rock, roots, reggae, and everything in between that will get your toes tapping, your feet nodding up and down, your head nodding up and down, your mouth singing, your brain thinking, and maybe even get you dancing in the aisles. Kenny weaves a masterful, fluid thread through genre after genre in his riveting live performances and his solo performances with duo, trio, and band as well. And he traverses the musical map with infectious melodies and unstoppable rhythms. He soothes the spirit, rocks the house, and can melt into a seductive bluesy groove. It's unique, uplifting sound that comes through both live and on disc. And I can strongly recommend that. I've heard Kenny play live many, many times, and I've been listening to a lot of his discography recently. Versatile, great solo acoustic stuff. And when you sit down with your trio or band and you take out your electric guitar for lead, there's a lot of meaty, aggressive electric playing at times. So it really is. You hear that phrase a lot. There's a diverse musician who can do a lot of things and sound good, but in reality it doesn't happen a lot. I have to say, in your case, it's very true. So my question, I guess, seeing that this is a songwriter show, is how did this diversity of genre happen?
Well, there's many directions I can go in with that kind of question because it's not so easy to answer. But I grew up in New York City, and I started playing guitar as 13, and the radio was either pop radio, which Motown was included, and it had everything pop, from Tommy James to everything. And then at the same time, there's the FM radio happened, which was at the time things started moving into album things. And so you started hearing everything. And I just happened to love, somehow I just started liking all different kinds of music, because I also saw music as people. I didn't see it as just music separate from people. So to me, it was getting to know different kinds of people, you know. And in New York City, you got exposed to different people, you know. I was in a band in high school where I would walk into the projects with my guitar, when you could do that back then. So there was a lot of diversity around me. It wasn't, you know what I mean? So I started hearing everything, and then I kept on doing that. I just kept on being curious about all different music, and I started listening to it. And then when I was in college, I got into a band where the drummer was into jazz, and he started putting Miles Davis beats behind what we were doing in the band. So then I started listening to, and it would literally be, I would listen to Grateful Dead, to Joan Baez, to the Beach Boys, to Miles Davis. It was just, I just started listening to everything, and I still like that. And then it's also, to me, music is so soothing. That's not a good word. It helped me center myself and connect with the universe. Literally, I feel connected when I'm playing music and even listening sometimes, emotionally and spiritually and everything else.
That is
And I kept on going, and then so I just I kind of let it happen by curiosity and not getting into kind of this music is better than this music, you know. Because I remember some jazz player, maybe it was Duke Ellington, somebody said, there's only good music and bad music, you know.
That's what he said, yeah.
And I think that. And you can find great music in any genre, and you can find bad music in any genre. So, and I grew up with electric guitar. I mean, I had an acoustic, I remember when I was a kid. My brother, we'd play, and I grew up in the Beatles, you know, so. There's a lot to it, you know. I don't know exactly, but I just started getting to all different kinds of music, and I still like that, you know. And I wanted to be good, so I would practice a lot, and I was introduced to blues from a neighborhood kid at 14. He would have me play, you know, while he would solo away, and I got introduced to blues through the Cream and through the British stuff, you know, having blues come back at you in America, at us Americans. And then after a while, when I got older, literally a lot older, when I was near 40, I started listening to where British guys got their music from.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
You know, the Muddy Waters and
The
Otis
Howlin'
Rush
Wolf
and
and
all that stuff. So,
Willie Dixon,
yeah, Willie Dixon, and I started going back, and so it expanded. And then for the folk stuff, I used to own a recording studio in the 80s, and in 1989, some things happened in my life. I needed to get back into playing a lot, and I bought an acoustic guitar, that Larrabee I mentioned to you before. And I met these people, and I started playing the folk scene in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And at the time, the area was considered the boot camp of folk music. There's so much good happening here. There wasn't much business here, but basically there was so much happening. I'd walk into, play a place in Cambridge, and John Gorka would walk in. I mean, and Ellis Paul and all these people. So I got interested in Dara Williams. I knew Dara Williams before. She might remember me, but I knew her when she was just beginning. I had
That's
a cassette of
fascinating.
hers.
I have to tell you, this past Saturday at the famous Godfrey Daniels folk shop here in Bethlehem, PA, John Gorka was a resident for an artist conference all weekend. He was performing, and Saturday afternoon, he and Ann Hills gave a 2-hour songwriting workshop at Godfrey Daniels, and I attended. And it's the second songwriting workshop I've been to with John, and he's, as you know, just a stunning songwriter and just amazing. But yeah, the Boston folk scene, my lord, it's historically.
It was kind of scary. I mean, I was in a duo. I'd never played solo in those days, and I was backing up a woman. I mean, we were a duo, but to me, I was learning. I was exposed to songwriting, and she was a good songwriter and good singer, and I wasn't much of a singer, but we had harmonies. And in order to basically survive in my own mind, even playing, I had to learn how to write. And I might have dabbled in writing before that, but nothing like what I was exposed to. And I just had to get better because first of all, I didn't want to play bad in front of people. I just
Yeah.
badly,
Yeah.
and my vocals were suspect anyway back then. So I was always a good guitar player, but then I learned how to put it together, and I started literally studying people, not just on record, but a songwriter get up in front of people and what made them good, what made good reaction to the crowd.
Yeah,
I
I try to look
I-
at that too because I'm a real big introvert, so I'm always watching those people who are basically introverted but know how to perform. Like John Gorka is massively introverted,
Right.
but he has crafted who he is into a persona,
Yeah.
and he's very honest. He is who he is on the stage. He's not overt or extroverted, but he is who he is, and he's crafted it, and you can really connect with him on that slower level. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote, and at the same time, I tried to keep true to myself. So
Yeah.
I would write a gospel tinged song. I'm not saying it was great. I'm just saying that's what I did, and I never tried to be weird. But I was also a trained musician, which I
Yeah.
don't want to necessarily go into. So I had a good harmonic sense that wasn't just basic triads.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really big thing in your playing that you don't overextend that hand. I noticed. You're obviously very well trained in theory and composition. To the point, folks, on his YouTube, in his YouTube page, you can find a playlist of his classical guitar stuff.
Well, I haven't. Yeah.
Eddie's been into some serious stuff, but on your more mainstream stuff, you never overplay all the skill that you bring, but you're applying it at the same time. It's a really neat trick to do. It's hard to do.
Well, I learned about things like variations. You can substitute one chord and make it more interesting that way. And so I put that in my music, and it makes it a little quirky for people to learn. I had somebody I knew recently who sat in, and he had a hard time quickly learning my music because,
Yeah.
first of all, I didn't have it charted out, and second, we had like a lesson a week, and he said, it's just too much to get it together, even though he's a good bass player, a really good bass
Yeah,
player.
it can be tricky. Hey, folks, we're already at 20 minutes past the hour,
Wow.
and Kenny and I were talking during the sound check, and we just talked the whole half hour. So I was reassuring him that the hour was going to go like this too. We were just gonna, as most of our songwriting guests are, they're very interesting, they're very talented, and it's pretty easy to fill up the hour with lots of great music and lots of great talk. We are with Kenny Selcer, Selcer. You can see him on kennyselcer.com and on Reverb Nation and on YouTube. And that's Selcer, singer-songwriter and great guitarist from Greater Boston. I hate to interrupt you because we could talk for a couple hours, but I'm wondering, what were you thinking of sharing for your second tune with folks?
I'm going to do a drop D song. And I don't have too many of these. I like different tunings, except that I found that when I'm doing performance, I've seen really good people and they spend so much time tuning and the energy goes way down and you have to bring it up again. And I didn't like that. I've seen some really pros who have like 3, 4, 5 guitars, you know, so they can just pick up a... So I didn't get into tunings, but this one is drop D. This is one of my earliest songs from that folks singer-songwriter scene that I was in Cambridge. It goes way back. This one I actually recorded a lot. I recorded an album with Jill Stein back in '93. I wrote it in '93. And then I also recorded it twice on an album I put out in 2011. And I wrote it twice because I was trying to get the band to do something, and they didn't do it, but what they did was great. And so I kept that on there and said, hey, it's my album. I'll put out another version, and I did it the way I wanted it, more stripped down. So it's called Colors. And this one's about I don't know what it's about, you know, it's hard to say what it's about. It's not as murky as that, but I just can't think of what it's about now. It's called Colors. Meet me in the morning where the sun chases the moon out of the sky. Meet me at the corner where the dawn turns dreams into light. I'm looking for some color. I'm just looking for some colors in my life. And I'm not gonna worry much about the days that have passed me by. I had a daydream about you as I played my music today. I saw how we walked and talked and exactly where we were that day. Everything was so vivid, the sounds and the colors that I saw. And I'm not gonna worry much about the days that have passed me by. I've seen so much these past few years that your eyes, your touch recede even in memory. And looking back in black and white like we always do won't help to bring back our history. And now in the days I have, and now no time to be sad, and now I'm gonna move to the future. Ooh, ooh, Meet me in the place where the rainbow turns visions into gold. Meet me in the evening where the sky covers everything we know. I'm looking for some color. I'm just looking for some colors in my life. And I'm not gonna worry much about the days that have passed me by. And I'm not gonna worry much about the days that have passed me by. And I'm not gonna worry much about the days that have passed me by.
A wonderful song.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Really positive. Great message.
Yeah, yeah. But I do say I'm not going to worry much.
That's true. That is true. Hey, folks, that was the second selection from Kenny Seltzer. He is our guest, a singer, songwriter, and guitarist from Greater Boston. That's Selcer, KennySeltzer.com, and you can find him on YouTube and on Reverb Nation at those things as well. And it is just a gas to have Kenny on. I've had the fortune of playing a lot with him on virtual open mics, and he's just always a pleasure to hear. Kenny, I was going to share some of your media and web presence. I was going to go to your website first, I guess.
Okay.
You should be seeing this. It should be your
Wow,
website.
look at that.
Unbelievable. That's KennySeltzer.com, folks. And the video that you see posted there, I really love the video that you did for this song. It's called
Thank
"I'm
you. Yeah.
Leaving This Town," and folks will really like that. I have to ask you: is that based on a true story where you're moving from one town to another?
No, that was based on, it came out of the first year of COVID, and I was feeling really isolated. I lost all my gigs like we all did. I didn't have a job. I wasn't in touch with people, and I was really kind of depressed, you know. I was having a hard time, but I decided not to write a song where I would depress people. I wanted to transcend that.
Yeah.
So I wrote a up-tempo song that had some of those elements of things in it. I'll play it for you actually soon. And so it's an upbeat song, and it sounds happier than where it came from.
Got it. Also on your front page here, you've got a few gigs listed on the left-hand side. You want to talk about these at all? On October 27th, you and Steve Gilligan are going to be playing in Sudbury.
Yeah, that one's a really nice place we found. Nice, really nice, good people. Small little restaurant, Italian restaurant. It's just a fun place. It's really treated really well, and we actually play whatever we want, and it's a nice place to play. Parking, food's decent. Food's pretty good.
So that'll be at 6 to 9 p.m. on Thursday, October 27th. And then the following Friday, you and Steve Gilligan again will be at the Harvard General Store.
Yeah, that's a concert. It's a $10 admission. It's a nice room, second floor. Harvard, Mass. is a rural place. That's the only thing in the town center as far as commercial. Food there, drink. I think they sell wine, beer, and we're going to be playing originals and a lot of covers. We're going to treat it like a bar concert because that's what it is. I mean,
Got it.
it should be a lot of fun. Actually, it should be fun and a challenge because people are going to be right there in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
right, right in front of us.
And then
That's a good place.
the following Saturday on November 12th, you'll be doing an online national open mic Music Matters showcase, which I did this past Saturday
Right.
with Joe Isaacs, and I really enjoyed it. And that will be at 7:30 p.m. online. Music Matters showcase on Saturday, November 12th.
Yep.
And then you've got a gig here on Saturday, December 3rd.
Yeah, that's there's a bunch of performers. There's an organization called International Songwriters Association. I think it sounds there's an extra S in there. I just joined it. So there's a bunch of people. One Broadway Collaborative is run by Aaron Tornberg, and he puts together hybrid shows, meaning that you can come and listen. And you can also you can watch it, and the performers can do the same. I'll probably show up. And there's a bunch of performers. I think there's like 8 performers. I should put that down there, shouldn't I? The names of them. And I would probably play in the round. Maybe go around just twice, I
Got
think.
it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's Saturday, December 3rd at 7 to 9 p.m. at the One Broadway Collaborative in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And one more you've got listed here is on Thursday, December 8th. You will be at Risa singer-songwriter concert in the round. And what is Risa?
Risa, well, before we get to Risa, the One Broadway Collaborative can be found on Facebook, so you can find more details about that. Risa is Rhode Island Singer-Songwriter Association,
Got it.
except that anyone who can join it. Group of people that put on shows and concerts and open mics sometimes. You join.
Yeah.
And the show is, there's 4 songwriters, and I don't even know who they are yet. They didn't
Yeah.
tell me. So, and it's in a place in Rhode Island. I think it's it might be at AS 220. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure yet.
And that'll be in Providence.
What was that? Providence, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you go around, and there's actually involved in that is the month before November, their concert. They're going to pick a prompt.
Oh, wow.
And so one of your songs is going to be based on a prompt that you get from the November.
That is great.
And I have to admit, I've only done that once. So that's
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
intimidating.
I always enjoy playing songwriters in the round when there's 3 or 4 songwriters. You may have an idea of what 6 or 7 songs you're going to play in what order, but as you know, as the songs roll out, as they roll down the line, you may be forced to change
That's right, yeah.
the feel of what you're doing. So it's always a pretty dynamic thing. There's a great gallery page here on KennySeltzer.com too, and you can see some of the pictures scrolling by here. Lots of great performance stuff here, both solo and duo, trio, and with band. Also on this page, KennySeltzer.com, there are some video links. Most of them will be out on YouTube.
YouTube,
though.
right. I moved everything to YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube has, I do a lot of solo performances, Zoom, and occasionally, I actually record almost everything I do.
Yeah.
And I have so many hours. There it is, yeah. And also, a lot of my duo stuff material is up there.
Yeah. And on YouTube, folks, that's youtube.com/user/Ken Seltzer, Selcer.
Right.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I have different playlists, and I record, especially my new stuff. I record it all, so I remember how I delivered the lyrics exactly, what fingerings did I use on the fingerboard, etc. You kind of have to, or the song might be gone. Part of it might be gone. But as you can see, lots of great playlists here: solo, live, band and trio setting.
And some older things I did, yeah.
Yeah, with Jody Rockman, some nice, some really neat stuff in that playlist. Hey, Park Away, oh, I tell you.
Right, right.
And as we mentioned earlier, classical series for steel guitar. Can have some
Blasphemy, right?
unbelievable. Well, you can stay on anyway. We'll finish the show anyway. And that is it. And there was one other one. Okay. Oh yes, Reverb Nation. Excuse on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, right.
Can you talk about your Bandcamp site?
Yeah, Bandcamp is a great platform that I found is really good, and it's international, of course, and you can put your material up there in any form you want. I put it up with albums or new sections, and you can sell it for any price you want, or not. You can actually set it up where people can go to it if you want to, and you give them a code, and you can. Anyway, so my solo albums are up there. Are they all up there? Looks like an EP I did is not up there. That's funny. And all my new material is up there. And the way I work that is, I've been recording this project, and every time I do something new, add a vocal, do a remix, I upload it. So you always hear the latest
Yeah,
of my material.
that's wonderful. So on
and it's
Bandcamp, folks. Yeah,
Bandcamp, right? Just look up Bandcamp. I don't even know the address.
it's Kenny Seltzer
About Bandcamp.
.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, and you'll hear all my different kinds of material, and it's constant. I'm trying to update it as much as I can and make it interesting for people, and also an archive. So,
Got it. Now, the newest thing, you have this really great assembly of your newest music assembly, and you also have a special going on where people can buy your entire digital discography. You want to talk about those two things?
well, the way it's set up is you set a price, and for the albums, and then what Bandcamp does is they combine them, so you can buy all of them for a highly discounted price.
Got it.
And it's based on their algorithms, based on what you said. I can't set that price.
Right.
I can set the individual albums prices. And then you get, if you buy them all, you can buy one song at a time, and you can also buy an album. It's pretty inexpensive. I keep the prices low. I just want to,
Yeah.
it's, and you
Well,
get the download, it's the WAV files.
Yeah.
So
Which are higher
they're
quality. Yeah.
high quality, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you it's a great discography, folks. It is, I tell you, it's very high quality music. So
Thank you, yeah.
anything, any great contribution and any acquiring Kenny's music is just a good idea because it's good
Right.
music.
And the albums, like that one called I Simplify, came out in 2016.
Right.
They're mastered, so they're real albums,
Right. Right.
Don't Forget About Me and Breaking the Glass.
Right.
There's another one I got to wonder why I never put it up there. It's really a 6-song live in the studio. I had a bluegrass Americana group called String Bean
Right.
for a short period of time. It's not up there.
Right.
So
Well,
there's a lot of good goodies. I'm proud of the music, and you can see my wide range of things,
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah.
And I don't try to at this point in I don't really try to. I follow my muse, whatever my muse is. So if I'm getting into acoustic stuff, songwriter, that's what I write. Or if I feel like I want an edgier song, that's what I try to write. I don't really direct it as much. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a wide range of stuff. And at this point, I would love to get airplay, and I have gotten some airplay. The River, which is a top station around here, had one of my songs, I'm Leaving This Town, as one of their featured songs, which is, I'm not worried about it in a certain way. I just, whatever I want to put together, I put together.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I have a question. Since your genre style is fluid, and you tend to follow the muse, which is great, is how has your songwriting progressed from a while ago until now, in terms of how you treat the genres? Has your songwriting approach to any of those genres changed?
Well, I think so. I think it's my craft has gotten better. I mean, I still try to, write what I'm going through and be real, and I don't try to be commercial in the sense of trying to write something to sell, but my sensibility and my knowledge is increased of what makes a good song, and able to put it into
Yeah.
in there. So and it's become more accessible that way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And another follow-up question to that, and this is a typical question, on our show. Songs can come in many different ways to a songwriter. What are the most common ways that a song comes to you?
well, the way I've tried to write is ultimately we all have different degrees of articulation, the way we articulate things. Some people are really verbal and can write stories, and that's what they do, and they do it well. And I'm really not like that. And I have problems articulating my ideas verbally. And I feel strongly. So what I tend to do is try to figure out what I'm going through, and then put that into a song, and the music comes much easier. I can write lots of music, but the words is tougher.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do it like Paul McCartney was talking about it once, that when he wrote Yesterday, he was writing scrambled eggs, you know. So I do that. I do some kind of stream of consciousness thing where I see what comes out at the beginning, and then I see where it leads to, and I try to fit that into the mood I'm in, the energy, or what I'm trying to go through.
Right. So it sounds like the circle, if it is a circle, is the feeling or the sentiment you're going for, that you feel inside, and the musical thing that might come out of it or tie into it, and then the lyric folds in at the end, usually.
Yeah, well, it's getting generally speaking, there's always odds and ends of writing. I'm getting better at articulating what I'm going through,
Yeah.
and in ways that because I've been studying music, not just music, but songwriters for a long time, you know, and I see what, as we talked about before, I see what makes a song affect people, not just the performance, but let's say the words or the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I read something recently that Bob Dylan was talking about, that the experience of the song is more important than the words. And coming from him, I kind of, in some ways, I agree with that, because I spent 4 years doing sound for salsa at Johnny D's in Somerville, and there might have been one English song a night. And after a while, I realized that I knew what the song was about, you know? So it's experience.
Yeah.
And the craft comes because if you like my song, some people love the music, and some people tune into the lyrics more. And if you can combine good music with good lyrics, that's what I go for.
Yeah, that's
You know?
great. It's interesting because many singer-songwriters usually tackle the lyric or the lyric emotion content first, but they have a hard time with the emotion, and you hear this from many songwriters, that they have to whittle it down to what core feeling are they trying to get to in that song. So it's interesting. You're starting most often from that point. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and over the years, people want to feel. They want to go
Yeah.
through something in their
Yeah.
lives, and they want to feel whatever they want to feel, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of music to me is up in the head, and I wanted to bring it down to earth, for lack of a better phrase, and then combine it. So,
Yeah.
and it's not easy to do because, first of all, I don't think I'm a master songwriter. I think I'm okay. I've gotten better. But I think that's what makes a song important to people, is not just the words, it's the feeling that the song brings to them, you know, anything
Yeah.
blowing in the wind. I mean, it's really a simple song in a certain way, but it was delivered by Dylan and Peter, Paul and Mary in such a way that it affected people, not just the lyric content, even though some people were more into the lyrics than the whole experience.
Yeah, yeah. These nuggets, folks out in the audience, are fantastic. That wanting and needing to connect to the audience, making sure your songs are connecting. And Kenny said one thing very interesting at the very beginning of the episode. I wrote it down immediately. He said he didn't think of music as music. He said, I think of music as people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of how he grew up and where he grew up. And the second thing he said, which I wrote down immediately, which is one other nugget of wisdom, was music was music. It wasn't chasing the genres. It was what musical thing was he trying to say and do. And the genre thinking was really secondary. So it's really, really kind of neat. And that's the fun part of this show, where songwriters get to share a little bit about, how they get motivated and what motivates them and how they approach the craft. And we're with a good songwriter tonight, folks. That's Kenny Selcer, Selcer, a singer-songwriter and guitarist from Greater Boston, Massachusetts. And that's KennySelcer.com and Kenny Selcer on Bandcamp and on YouTube, Kenny Selcer. And don't forget to support him. Find all of his discography, take a peek at some of those gigs we talked about earlier. This is just great having you on.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I really enjoy it.
That was good. Good. Yeah. Wondering, we're going to do one more song. Ask you to do one more song before you before we take folks out. But was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or questions I haven't asked, or anything you wanted to share with folks? Or?
No, I mean, there's so much to talk about. I mean, now if you can think of another question, I'd be happy to talk with you about it. I just, I love music, and I've been playing since I was 13, and I'm an old guy now. So somebody just contacted me on the web, Facebook, and said, I went to high school with you, and he knew the guy that I went my first band when I was 13, 14. It's like, wow, it's pretty amazing. So.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, I still play with a couple of guys I played with in college. Tom Rochford, who lives up in the northeast corner of Connecticut near Peter Lendorf, and Lou Davis, a multi-instrumentalist from outside of Albany. And whenever we get together, it is instant and magic, and riding a bike, and everything clicks. And it's great connecting to the older folks you've known, and always good connecting to the new ones as well.
Yeah, I mean, I said music is people, but I mean, music is connections, right? I mean, that's what, I actually, I enjoy playing with people in some ways more than I do by myself, because I like the dynamic between people. I like conversation, and that's what music is or can be, conversation. And when a good band is playing, it's not just good music, it's good conversation put together,
Yeah, it is. I love, of course, as you know, one of the most important aspects of playing with someone else, especially live, is how well everyone listens.
Yeah.
It's listening first to make the sound. As the old saying goes from the marching bands and school bands, one band, one sound. And
right.
It has to be that way for every band you're in ever.
Yeah. What is that phrase? The whole bigger than the parts. Is that the right phrase? Does that make
whole's
sense?
greater than the sum of the parts.
Something like that.
I thought like that.
So I enjoy playing. I really enjoy playing with other people, and when I'm playing by myself, it's sometimes it gets lonely, and then I hear things, and and so over the years I've gotten better because I wanted to get better, but it's also experience. You keep at it, and hopefully you get better.
Well, you've obviously gotten much better from wherever you started. Our guest tonight, who's going to take us out with his last song, has been Kenny Selcer, and just wonderful to have you on, Kenny, and enjoy how good your music is and how good your writing is, and thanks for being a guest on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary Tom. So this song is that song we were talking about before. I wrote during COVID with the video, and It's called I'm Leaving This Town. So it's not a true story. I mean, some friend of mine said, don't leave, don't leave. So, okay, here it goes. I'm leaving this town. Sitting around, I'm wearing a frown. Ain't got no dough, I'm moving too slow. I wanna see you once more, once before I go. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. Starting to fade, feeling afraid. Nothing to gain is hurting my brain. I wanna open the door, then I have to go. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. Don't know if I will miss everything that I see. Don't know if you can see it's coming down on me. It's raining so hard I am soaked to my bones, and I feel like I'm looking for my home. Yeah, 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 yeah. Bye bye, bye bye. No jobs to be found, it's all over and done. I'm up late at night, but ain't having fun. Got nobody to call, and nothing on TV. I'm leaving this town, I won't be back no more. Send best wishes, I will need them when I go. Send thoughts and prayers, got a long hard path to hoe. I'll put on my new walking shoes, put the wind at my back, and take a step to who knows where, and then I won't look back. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Don't know if I will miss everything that I see. Don't know if you can see it's coming down on me. It's raining so hard I am soaked to my bones, and I feel like I will never dry. I'm looking for my home. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Bye bye. Sitting around, I'm wearing a frown. Ain't got no dough, I'm moving too slow. I wanna see you once more, once before I go. I'm leaving this town, I won't be back no more. I'm leaving this town, I won't be back no more. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
That's fantastic. That song has such a great groove and it moves so quickly. And what a great hook on the chorus.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed, that the hooks don't have to be complicated, you know, they can just be simple, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And don't forget, folks, there's a great video of that too
Yeah, that
out
was
on Kenny's
good
site
video, yeah.
that you can catch. Hey, our guest tonight has been Greater Boston singer-songwriter Kenny Seltzer, Selcer. Catch him at kennyseltzer.com. Catch him on Reverb Nation. Catch him on YouTube. Be sure to follow his dates up there in the Greater Boston area and his live national virtual dates as well. And be sure to look at his discography. It is just fantastic and varied. And Kenny, it's just been great having you on the show tonight.
Thank you so much. I mean, it was really a pleasure talking with you and playing the songs for you and talking about all this stuff. I mean, it's just it really is a pleasure talking about music and the craft and history behind things, because it's just that's what I mean about people. I mean, it's like songs didn't come out of nowhere, right? They came from each of us, you know.
Yeah, that is true, and that's what we try to do on the show is get behind the music a little bit, as well as giving you exposition on the artist, and so it's just a lot of fun and
Yep,
a lot
it's
of
a great
fun.
thing you're doing.
Well, thank you, and as we like to say, we always, as I know you always do, you always pay it forward. We never ask for anything back on the show. We ask you to pay it forward and keep the whole thing going. And I
Oh
know
yeah, yeah.
you're very generous in how you're helping the songwriting community as well.
Great, thank you, thank
We
you.
appreciate that. Hey, folks, we will see you next first Monday of the month in November. And I will get out an edit of this show so we can get some nice bright text on all the URLs we talked about tonight. And we'll put on our fancy intro and our fancy outro and all that wonderfully neat stuff. The really super high production values. It'll wow you. And so we
Looking
will
forward
see
to
you.
that. Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Be safe, be well, be kind, and be positive. And we'll
Exactly.
see you next time.
Take care.